Good morning! How's everybody doing today? I'm doing excellent. I've been really busy, been doing a lot of work on my mural, and doing yard work and mom stuff, and just keeping busy with life. So I've waited a few days to make a video and kind of contemplated what I would say, done a little more research, watched some Boycottgrimes videos, seeing what she's having to say. So here's my response to Boycottgrimes' recent videos and just my opinions in general on this crazy life we're all experiencing together and apart right now. So I was reflecting the other day, thinking about Boycottgrimes and all of the stuff she says, and kind of, comments people have left and this, that, or the other thing on my channel. And I was speaking to this person in private, and I came up with a good analogy, and this person told me it was an alright analogy, so I thought I'd share it. Thanks for the encouragement to said random person for helping me have some confidence to share this analogy, because it's kind of a little out there, but it was in my head and I'm out there, so it should be no surprise to anyone that's watched a few of my videos. So I thought to myself, like, what is Boycottgrimes? What is she to the internet? Because, I mean, there's goods and pros and cons to everything, so, for every bad thing I say that she does, maybe there's some good things she's done too. Don't want to discredit her at all, really not my vibe. Unless, you're going to be mean, then I'll discredit the crap out of you. But I thought to myself, this is a good analogy. Boycottgrimes is like a butter-addicted grandma. She eats the butter, and she eats the butter, and she eats the butter. Except the difference between Boycottgrimes and grandma is grandma gets fat and happy and makes cookies and, does her thing. And Boycottgrimes, her butter is toxicity, and she eats it, and she eats it, and she eats it. And eventually it's gonna kill her and consume her. So, Boycottgrimes is the butter-addicted grandma we all don't need, because her butter is toxicity. So, if you want to keep watching her get fat on that, go ahead. I don't. I'm gonna keep watching her so I can combat her craziness with a little crazy of my own, or whatever it's called. Doesn't really matter. Everyone has a little bit of crazy. Crazy is really just a derogatory word, like a F you. Okay, well, we're all a little crazy, so let's just accept that. We can be crazy in a positive way, though, and use our weird thoughts as a platform for change. That's maybe kind of what I'm trying to do. So the conclusion I came to is that Boycottgrimes is going to eventually dissolve herself into her own negativity, because she'll have no way out. When you start talking about things like pedophilia and all of those really deep, dark things that do exist, don't get me wrong, it can consume you. It is dangerous. I'm glad there are people talking about it. However, there need to be people talking about it who are maybe mental health professionals or, people that are supposed to be taking care of those things, not conspiracy theorists and toxic butter eaters. So I also wrote down some other things I was thinking about, had a lot of time to think. I've been painting a mural on my fence, and it's taking like 99,000 years. It's really, really relaxing. However, it's taking quite a long time. So I did write a few other things. Thanks for holding on here. So I thought that I wrote down also that a direct result of her consuming this toxicity, in my opinion, is that it'll just ultimately consume her as a human. And I don't know, that's not really good. If you've ever read some scientific things, or if you ever dig around, there's huge studies on plants and water, and you can have two plants, and this is not like a quote by quote from these studies, this is my remembrance of me reading it. So you can have one plant here and one plant here. Say nice things to this plant, mean things to this one, and eventually, even if you give them the same type of care that that plant requires, the one that you're saying mean things to or toxic stuff and you're only expressing to, it'll reflect that in its growth. So really the only person that Boycottgrimes is hurting ultimately is herself and the people that continuously watch her in belief of what she says. So I mean, we can only consume so much toxicity as humans before it truly makes us sick, and that's with plants as well. We want to be talked nice to, we want to hear good things about ourselves, and we all make mistakes and we all fail, so people loving us through that and those mistakes are really awesome. And I challenge all of us to look at ourselves and say, oh, how can I love myself a little more today? Because that in turn will be you loving the world even more. We cannot help each other or do anything for one another, and I've learned this personally myself, without loving ourselves and taking care of ourselves first. So maybe if Boycottgrimes wants to solve the world's problems, she should solve her own first. That's the conclusion I've came to in the last 4 days, and I also thought of something positive. I would say, I'm gonna finish it with this, that I felt a little upset recently. However, I think that this is a major time of uncertainty for most people in this world right now. We can all relate in some type of way, especially now, because we're experiencing similar things, or you know, the things that are going on in the world are very, very evident now in lots of places. So people seem to be experiencing more and more similarities of what they are experiencing, which can in turn also either divide us or bring us together. My thought I will end on is there's more ways to come together, and it's definitely a time to be encouraging that. Hate and toxicity is not going to get us anywhere, and it's my conclusion that I would encourage myself and you to go with love and to try to express that within ourselves, because it will affect the world around you. And kindness is contagious. So just like toxicity has its role in this world, so does kindness. And I find more people to be very kind than toxic. So let's keep doing this, folks, because random acts of kindness are really what helps us to grow, and they don't even have to be random, you know? Just a hi, how are you is so beyond thoughtful nowadays that your 5 seconds of asking someone how they are could dramatically change their life in a positive way, especially even just for that moment in that day. So I guess I don't really have anything else to say other than, let me see, I may have wrote down one more thing here. This is my conclusion to the end of my video. I've enjoyed that everybody is watching. There's lots of positive comments, lots of trolly comments, lots of just interesting stuff. Encouraging conversations with one another is how we challenge ourselves and our thoughts. None of us are always right, so it's really humbling and nice to have an open space for conversation. If you're wondering if that's what I'm trying to create, it is true. So if you have other things or anything you want to talk about, maybe leave it in the comments. I would just encourage you that we can get our points across without attacking one another, because that's kind of hard to moderate. So life is short. Let's make life better for everyone, and it starts by treating ourselves better. That's my conclusion. So today, tomorrow, and actually for quite a long time, I've been trying to be nicer to myself, and that helps me to be nicer to others. When I feel good about myself, and when we feel good about ourselves, we express that inwardly, and it in turn, it gets expressed outwardly. So let's love inwardly and outwardly, and I don't know, be a little more compassionate. Have a beautiful day, and thank you for watching.